one. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Can-Am Connection. The first question out. I got my Canada shirt on. What's the province? Some say Manitoba. Some say BC. Some say Nova Scotia. You're all wrong. Saskatchewan is what I'm wearing right now. I'm repping. So there you go.
Man.
Saskatchewan. That's right. First things first, before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's show, congratulations to the New England Patriots and Seattle Seahawks. Y'all be going to Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara, California. Tim has his sweatshirt, his hoodie on. Tim, are you going to the game?
I don't know yet. Man, those are some pretty hefty ticket prices right now.
It's going to be one of the least watched Super Bowls again.
Man, now, I think we might just do our normal trip to Vegas and enjoy it there. So
all I got to say is go see chickens.
That's right.
Hey, that was the better of the two games yesterday.
I told you guys I'm bitter as hell when the Chiefs aren't in the Super Bowl, and I always want the NFC team to win. So
it's a standard, man. I mean, you guys have built a standard now that, hey, it's Super Bowl or nothing,
Exactly.
And I think the Seahawks are on its way. That defense was looking good. It looked shaky a couple times when Nakul was just like going deep and DeAndre Hopkins was going deep. I was like, uh-oh. But nonetheless, a good game, by the way. So congratulations to the Seahawks and Patriots.
Yeah, we just normally wait until we need a new pope to be elected, and then we become the number one seed, and then we win the Super Bowl. So, I mean, we're on the right path. We're doing all right.
Yes.
Just hopefully this coach won't call a run pass when he should call a run.
Oh, maybe they won't get a pass interference and get away with it. Either way.
Yeah. Well, Illinois State took place over the weekend. Tim, you were there. You and Team Arm Sports Entertainment did some damage. You want to fill us in about what went down over there? Besides the weather.
It was fucking cold. Frankly, don't know how we got home. Like every flight was canceled to Phoenix besides our flight, and we were on like Frontier, which should have been canceled over anything. But yeah,
good job, Frontier.
Well, we got out of the gate on time, but then we sat on the tarmac for 2 hours. So it's like we were on that plane for like 6 hours. It was crazy. It was a good time. Great new venue, a little smaller, but it worked out fine. A lot of people backed out that I wish still would have been there. Like Rush Trader had a whole team coming, but they just got piled with snow. They couldn't make it. But no, it was a good time. It was the first time I've pulled 198 since 2018 in the States. And I won my classes, which was great. Didn't really give myself a fighting chance left-handed just because I haven't been 100% in years left-handed, and I was this weekend, and had the guys like Eli Browhard in my class and Ethan Mercer, and knowing what those guys are, I'm like, man, I'm fucking dead, and somehow I pulled out the win left-handed against them and right-handed, so it worked out pretty well.
I know I saw I thought I saw you in a video clip, but it was I guess it was Steve West, but I could have swore it looked just like you. And from Wallace Gilly, because he was there, and some of his guys from Nebraska was there, and he had his own little video. You could check him out on YouTube and stuff. And it was funny because right behind his match, they were watching what I thought was you and your match. So
yeah, no, it was good. Steve West did good. He took fourth in one of the classes, and Lewis took second in Masters. To the same guy. It's funny. It's a repeat of last year. He did the same thing. He beat him on the A-side finals and then got double dipped in the finals 2 years in a row.
By the same guy?
Same guy. The guy's so good in the strap. He has a nice just flop press in the strap, side pressure. It's hard to finish him. So it was good. It was good matches all around. It was a great tournament. Lower entries in the years past, because that gets upwards to the high 200s for the tournament, and I think we had like 185 this year.
I'm sure you guys would have more if the weather was
for sure. I mean, just two groups that we knew that were coming would have been another 30 entries, 40 entries just for two groups that were coming. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, we pulled it off and ran smooth, no injuries.
Good. That's always good.
Can't really feel my arms today since my team went back to Brent Racker's house and chilled in his pool house and watched the UFC fights and arm wrestled all night. And
nice.
I don't really do that after pulling stuff, but we did it with Brent, some training, and I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling it today for sure.
How's your elbow?
Well, inner elbows are just shot. I mean, I'm gonna do some rehab at the gym, some bands today, and some blood flow, but it's gonna take me some time it's gonna take me a couple weeks. I got 4 weeks to get ready.
Yeah, is that before you go to Ottawa?
No, Vienna.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting that. Yeah. Well, be smart, man. Be smart. No injuries before you get down there.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, cool. Well, guys, everyone in the chat, Lucky, Brian Parliament, Tamara Mitz, Macho Man, everybody, Bob Anderson, they're all in the chat today because today's topic is weight classes. My man Craig Sublair's in the house. So, there comes a time where I think there's a double standard in the sport,
There's a massive double standard.
What's that?
I said there's a massive double standard.
Yes. So,
well, before you go any further, let's just give it, because we have Canadians. This is a Can-Am. Let's just give a happy delayed Canada Day to our Canadians out there.
Yes, there it is. Because I know, see, since you said that, David Jansen's in there. Yes. Tamara. Yes. There you go. So here's the thing. We all know over the past, when people who don't know the sport will say, okay, the bigger guy should win because he's big. And I think sometimes when you have a situation like that, it's also a no-win situation, right? So when you have a big guy take on a little guy, that normally doesn't happen unless the little guy goes up in weight. We can agree to that, okay? Here's the problem I got. If it's a super match of some sort, or even like a tournament and the guy goes up a weight class, then all of a sudden,
was it not Canada Day?
No.
Oh, I must have read something wrong. Shit, my bad.
Definitely wasn't Canada Day.
Oh, well, April Fool's Canada Day.
I do know Thanksgiving's in October in Canada. I do know that.
Whatever.
So here's the thing. If I'm a bigger guy, let's just say I'm pulling Nathan, right?
Huh.
And here's the thing.
This is right-handed. This is right-handed, right? Not left?
Yeah, we'll go for this. We'll go right-handed, right? Let's just say you and I are pulling, right? And then it's like, okay, well, Jody, you should win. You outweigh him by such and such. Now, if I beat Nathan, then it's like,
you're a weight bully.
You should be able to beat him.
You're a weight bully.
Yeah, but if you beat me, then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, it's the biggest thing ever. Yeah, so like, oh yeah, you suck. Why'd you lose to a smaller guy? So it's almost like a no-win situation. And we see that, but now as we progress on over the years and stuff, even to the elites, there's always this double standard. Because a certain puller may have a situation like that and they're frowned upon, but then another puller, same scenario, no one says shit. Why is that?
Well, here's the thing. Like, let's go back through history. Like, there weren't as many weight classes back in time, and your money classes were basically one class as well. So, like, everybody pulled the same. What was it? North of 180 entered you into the money classes normally.
So, remember, it was like 210 and over was like the heavies.
Yeah. So, like, if we go back in time, you got let's use John versus Cleve Dean at 185, 190 pounds. So we'll call him 200. Yeah. John at 200 versus Cleve Dean at 500. Well, according to arm wrestling math, John should never beat Cleve, but he did. So does that mean John was really good or just Cleve was really bad? Because we all know that Cleve was very good. So, but here's my take on it. Honestly, like there's a very big double standard, and by that I mean when Levon pulled Keter Gali in top 8, right?
Yep.
Nobody was setting. I mean, there were very few people that win at Levon for being much bigger than Keter Gali. Even though Keter Gali did give him a bit of a fight. I mean, we can all watch that match. But you turn to now, and it's primarily in the women's divisions where the women get all the hypocrisy for being, a bigger woman pulling a smaller woman, or in the case of Fia and Malin, Fia beating up on a grandma, even though Fia's never beat Malin. That was the first time she's ever beat her. History lesson, people. Look at Barbora. Yeah, but Gary wasn't 500 pounds. Let's use Barbora versus Gabby. People always talk shit on Barbora for being the bigger athlete, even though it's open weight. If you sign up for an open weight class, if you're pulling the open weight class, weight is irrelevant, right? At that point, if you are, it doesn't matter if you're 150 pounds or 250 pounds, you're in an open weight division. It's irrelevant. We could say the same, there could be the same hypocrisy for Levon or Jerry or Gennady or Devin or Vitali or XYZ. We can come up with every excuse in the world to make excuses why somebody loses a match. Oh, Levon beats everybody because he's 100 pounds heavier. Is that true? No, he's just stronger than everybody, and he's technical as hell. Vitali beats everybody because he's got a longer arm and a bigger hand. Is that true? Yes, but we've also seen him lose to an Hermes, a shorter arm puller. So,
Yep.
for me, people really just need to shut the hell up. Does weight matter? To an extent, right? But if you sign up for an open weight class, or you pull the open weight class, or like in the United States, if you pull the plus 154, or for women, or a plus 242 for men, you're not allowed to use weight as an excuse anymore if you lose. You signed up, you signed your name, you paid your pennies. Shut up. Plain and simple.
Which is Tamara's response. You make your own choices when you register and walk up to the table. Yeah. And I get it. Tim, what you got? What's your thoughts on this?
Pretty close to the same, right? We just stemming back to when I started, we saw this, right? We saw what we just used to call the giant killers, right?
But Corey Miller could do it. John did it. Giannis has done it. Come on.
It really comes down to experience, and there's levels to the game. When you get to a certain level, weight doesn't matter. It can matter a little bit, but it's been proven that when you get the 15, 20, 30 years of experience, you're able to do things to different people that somebody at 154 can't do. That maybe, okay, well, let's use Alan Fisher, the Corey Millers, right? The experience will go a further ways where you can never count them out. There's always a chance. It was proven for years and years when we would do overalls in California, and Vazgen would take down the number one guy. The Luke Kents would beat the Pavlos from when they get tired. They get them caught off guard because they're quicker than them. There's so many different things. Now, when you get to the lower levels, amateurs, low-level pros, normal tournaments, weight does matter.
Weight matters a lot.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
And, I think Neil is has lots of great points on this probably because Arm Wars isn't really about weight. It's about styles. It's about where you're at and where your level is. And you'll see 180 guy pull 220 guys or whatever. And it's a phenomenal match because it's based off of where you're at. And he's very good at picking those and seeing those just from watching matches. So final take on it. It's a level thing. It really is a level thing.
100%.
And that's what I'm sticking with.
No, I agree. I mean, my thing is I wish, and you're right, the keyboard warriors, I'll go ahead and piggyback on that, because I feel like when people don't know the sport like we know it, and folks in the chat know it, we know the sport to where it's like, it doesn't really, once you get to a certain level, it doesn't really matter anymore. I mean, in my book, it doesn't really matter anymore, but you can't have it one way or the other, and it's like, if they're good enough to win, hey, if I had a guy and I'm pulled in the 242 class, right? And there's a guy walked in at 185 and beat everybody, I'm going to tip my hat to him, shake his hand. My man, good job out there. We've all been there. We've all been to a tournament where Corey Miller pulled 8 classes and he blasted everybody. He finished top 3 in every single one of them, left and right. We've all been there. And at some point, we've probably been a victim to one of his wins too, on his way to the top. So I don't think that athletes should be ridiculed, when they're in that kind of situation, right? I don't think so, because it's like, again, once you get to a certain level, and I think a lot of people are forgetting. Yeah, Jody, you're so green. You turned their whole room green. Yeah, I think my eyes might be green too. I think what'll happen, some people don't know what open is, right? That's unlimited, if I'm correct. I guess that's the word we can use, right? Unlimited. Yeah. So yeah, anyway. It's unlimited. This is what it is. Now, don't make me get on other organizations with different weight classes, because it just fucks everything. Well, I can cuss now. Yeah, it fucks everything up. So,
well, I mean, in general, everything's kind of, screwed. North America, at least, or United States. Let's use the United States. Because no weight class in anywhere, there's no consistent weight classes in the United States. I think we can all agree with that. What does that say? The weight difference makes the story that much better when a David beats a Goliath. Yeah, but at the same time, there's such a double standard to it. Because yes, okay, David beat Goliath, but when Goliath beats David, it's like, well, you were supposed to win.
Yeah, it's like whole home. It's like just you almost like poo-pooing on the guy on Goliath's accomplishments. He did what he had to do. He won, so he just did what he had to do. It's unfortunate that it comes down to that. Oh, here we go. What about Todd Villa?
What about him? What about him though? Todd right now. And if we use WAL, for example, yeah, he pulled the 95 kilo class, or the 198, moved up because there was no competition for him. But I mean, here goes here. Okay, yeah, but at the same time, it's also a styles make matches thing. If Corey was a different puller at 400 pounds, he could have ran over Todd. It's the same way. Let's look at. Okay, if we want to play devil's advocate, look at the 115 match between Chafee and Todd. Todd was 101 kilos soaking wet. Dave was 115 and ran over Hutchings. What does that mean? Nothing, because they pulled the same damn weight class.
Right. Here you go. Ryan says, pulled open weight class masters on Saturday, left and right, was the lightest at 180 pounds. After that, 210, 260, 285, 360. Took third in both classes. So yeah, by far, and I was watching some of that footage, he was the lightest person in his class, and still took third. So, a lot of it, like Nathan said, is styles, right? So
what about basically ranked, but you compete against him with both of you heavier and win? You won't get his rank. Is that wrong? No, because it's not his weight class. Why does that matter? It'd be like Tim being number 1 at 198 and he goes everywhere and pulls 220 because he only cuts to 95 at certain times of the year for big events. If you beat him and you've never touched 198 in your life, why are you entitled to the rank?
That's true. That's true. I get that. Here we go. Powerhouse says, hand size and the arm length generally scales to weight. When you go up, you lose leverage and hand ability. I arm wrestle guys from 140 pounds to 300, and the hand is the biggest difference. I can attest to that. When you got somebody in the high 280s on up, the frame is bigger. Like the hand difference is just bigger.
You say that, but Coach Ray, Tim, you can attest, has a massive hand for being 80 kilos.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
he's the exception to the rule, though.
massive. But even me, like I grip up with like Friday. I gripped up with some people. I gripped up with Philip Larson. I gripped up with, some of our lighter guys. And even like you would think me gripping up with Philip would be uncomfortable. It's not. Like me
Yeah, I
gripping
mean,
up with other people, it's not. I mean, honestly, I don't think hand size technically dictates a lot. I mean, it can,
If you know how
obviously.
to use it.
well,
Yes,
let me
but
piggyback. Let me piggyback on that. We're talking about hand size, right? Like this right now. Okay, like I've beaten Jeff Dave at California State. Should I have ever beat him because he has the biggest hands in the world? Like when you find a lane that they're weaker in, or you've been in the game for so long, you're very technical, and you can do things to them, that their power and hand can't beat. I mean, I don't think the hand plays a big fact. I mean, it plays a factor, I guess I'll say like that.
yes.
But like at the end of the day, it still comes down to experience and where you're able to adjust to those giants lanes or this and that. There's ways to beat them.
I think it also comes down to your skill level. Like ultimately, a lot of this comes down to skill level. Like if you take a guy with a giant hand that's big as hell, thick, long, and they don't know how to use it, what's it matter what size their hand is? You can take a a low level pro and put them against that person that's 198 pounds, they're going to smoke them because they understand how to take them out of their ability to use this. So,
Can I respond to both of you guys' comments? Because,
uh,
and Tim, I wasn't there in California when you beat Jeff Dave, because we all know Jeff Dave has his hands the size of a hubcap.
Mm-hmm.
If I make a comment, would you tell me if I'm right or wrong?
Well, yeah.
So I'm guessing when you pulled Jeff Dave, you didn't attack his hand.
No.
That's what we're all talking about. That's what you're saying. That's what Nathan's saying. If somebody has a bigger hand than you, and we'll just say Jeff Dave because it's humongous, why would you attack his hand? You attack something else.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this is going to be like, oh, I'm talking shit on Jeff. I gripped up with Jeff. Jeff's hand is huge. Like it's thick, it's awkward, but it's very pliable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can dig into Jeff's hand and kind of negate his rotation, right? That's where people beat Jeff is they don't go through Jeff's giant bear paw. They go this way to Jeff. And then once they do this to Jeff, Jeff doesn't have an arm that can compete with most people. And his hand's very soft. Like it's literally like I would say it's like squeezing this where you can do that to it. It's
Maybe
very much like
it's
I would
squishy.
I call it like Play-Doh. Like where you can take Play-Doh and squeeze Play-Doh. That's the way it feels.
It's like silly putty, just kind of just molds in what you want to do. And again, we're not, like being mean to him. Let me close these blinds. We're not being mean to him. It's just like that's just what it is, So
and I've also seen some of the smallest hands in the game.
Oh my God, yeah.
Take big hands. And for an example, Dan Worley has a small ass hand. Small hand. But you know how hard it is to take Dan Worley's hand?
I know how hard it is.
Hard. And you know how easy he can take your hand? Because he's mastered that style of pulling because he had such a small hand. He had to protect his hand his whole life. And ever since he's pulled, and he learned how to get to a spot very fast and unbelievably, probably in my opinion, the best strap puller in North America almost. I mean, for his weight or even overall. I mean, the dude's a mastermind in the strap. It's unbelievable. So it's crazy. it's insane.
Yeah, Reno Masick has a very small hand size, but yet he wins at Worlds. Yes. Welcome, sir. How goes it?
Not bad. Sorry I'm late, guys.
No, you're not.
No,
you're not.
Things happening up here.
Well, we were talking about, just to get you caught up, we were talking about weight classes or weights in arm wrestling doesn't really matter. You know, there's a double standard going on and stuff. So let's get
What's
you
the
caught
double
up.
Standard?
If a bigger guy, let's just say, and this time we'll use using Tim. If you pull Tim in a tournament or a super match and the odds-on favorite, well, Ryan, if you beat Tim, big deal. You should have beat him. If Tim beats you, the whole world spins off its axis. So it's like a no-win situation for you or the bigger guy. So what's your thoughts on that?
Isn't that the way it should be a little bit?
Not really. It depends
Not
on
a
when
double
you guys.
standard.
Well, I think the double.
Let's put it this way then. Let's take Ryan out of it, Jody. Jody,
Okay.
if you beat a guy 600 pounds down the road from your house, is that more impressive than beating Ryan?
Nah.
No, because Ryan has a name, right? So there's so many factors in this of when it should be good, when it should not be good. Like it's a different, what's his accomplishments and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of different things.
Well, the biggest hypocrisy I see with the whole thing, and this is just from my perspective, because I like to be very in tune with everything that goes on. I try to watch everything that goes on. The big issue is in the men's classes, there's not as much, oh, you're bigger, you should win. In the women's classes, however, the women get absolutely drugged through the mud if the bigger person wins or if they lose to the other person.
Yeah, that's true. I would agree with that. That the women have it a little bit harder in that sense when the weights matter more, people are more focused on that. But this is such a difficult argument to have, the whole discussion, because there's so many variables. Cleve Dean was a huge human being, but did you get more accolades from beating Cleve Dean at 500 pounds or John Berzink at 190 pounds?
That's what I said.
Apples and oranges, what you like?
Both seriously accomplished arm wrestlers. But just because a guy is immense doesn't make him a good arm wrestler. I don't think Brian Shaw is in the top 5% right now of competitive arm wrestlers. He might be, but he's certainly not elite.
Right. And that'll come within due time. It's you could take
maybe it will, maybe it won't. He doesn't have a huge amount of time left to achieve that status.
Well, with him, I think the thing about Brian is, why you said that, I'm going to piggyback off that. I think he hasn't learned to pull like he should with his frame, because there aren't many people that have his frame. They're few and far between.
Yeah. No, and I get that. And time will tell. So, when you have these mass monsters, coming into our sport, and they got these backgrounds and they're strong as hell, but do they know how to use their strength in our sport, not their sport? And there's a difference with that, Before you got on, SB, we were talking about Jeff Dade, and he's beatable, but has this humongous paw, but, it's like Play-Doh, silly putty, you can manipulate that, and getting a win. But the question was, I think you might have heard this, what's more important, beating a Jeff Dade with a huge hand or beating, John Brzezinski or whatever, that kind of stuff. So, time will tell with that, as far as when you beat somebody at a bigger weight, for that little person or smaller person, it's an accomplishment. It is. But we know in our sport, things can change drastically. And I just don't, for me with the double standard, I don't like when, athletes who are bigger than their opponents get the short end of the stick from media.
For me, there's a lot of things where people get a lot of either criticism or a rocket shoved up their ass and shot to the moon. It's like beating Devin in a tournament. Like he enters a random tournament somewhere and you pin him. Well, we all know he's probably been on about a 10 to 12 day bender, pulling every day, and you slip a win in. Like,
do you say
big deal?
Bender?
Yeah, like arm wrestling bender.
Oh, it's like, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you slipped the win in on him after he's pulled for 2 weeks straight and probably just got off the practice table for 3 hours and then like, oh, look at what
Well,
I
okay.
did. Okay.
I'm going to stop you there, though, because you can't, if you put your arm on the tournament
I
table,
know.
it counts.
I know.
If you're compromised and you know you're compromised, you can't come back later and say, I was compromised. Like, it doesn't count. You made the decision to pull, thinking it was going to be, and in most cases, I'm not saying Devin, but an elite guy puts his arm out there and they think it's going to be easier than maybe it will be.
I guess what I'm getting at is it's perspective. It's, you have to have, it's perspective. Like, you have to have the right perspective. It's kind of like somebody going to worlds and winning first place. And there's one person in their class and saying, I'm a world champion. Motherfucker, there was one person in your class and it was you. You are a default. Shut up. It's the same thing, in my opinion.
Hey, if that was me, I wouldn't. You got, like I said, with that, I'll say this: you got 2 jobs, right? Show up and win. All the rest are details. You can't control who does not show up. But to me, I think in that situation, there's a certain responsibility. Don't parade around like you're just like this newest thing on the block, though. Either. You know what I mean?
I need to respond to a comment.
Which one?
They're talking about how long it would take Brian Shaw to be elite, and through the fingers, is 2 years he could be in the top 10. I agree with you. If he is singularly focused on becoming that status in arm wrestling, I do not believe for a second that Brian Shaw is singularly focused on arm wrestling. So while it is possible that he could achieve that, I don't think it's realistic for us to think that that is going to happen.
Well, I mean, Brian,
he's all in.
I mean, Brian has a ton of ventures, right? He has businesses and his social media and all this stuff. So,
and as much as it pains me to say this as a strength guy from 175 years ago, if you are going to focus on all of the major lifts that made you famous, it could actually hurt your arm wrestling.
Yes. Very easily could be detrimental.
Yeah. Is there enough of an upside for Brian Shaw to compete? Just be singularly focused. I don't think there is. Not when you're established and you have to dance with the one that brought you sometimes.
Well, look at Powerhouse. Takes full commitment to reach that goal, though. And I think it's true because, when Larry Wheels kind of, I guess you could say, kind of started this whole ball with athletes took it seriously. He's also bodybuilding? Is that what he was doing prior to that?
Yeah, he was full on bodybuilder, powerlifter.
Yeah, so he was doing all these other sports too. So it's kind of like you can't have half your toe in the water and think you're going to be good at things. If you put a third of your attention in 3 different sports, you're going to get third of the output. Is what I think if I'm reading Powerhouse's comment right.
I was at a super match in 2003-ish, 2002-ish, 2003, and I was competing in mixed martial arts, arm wrestling, and strongman, all in concert. And Joyce King said to me, do you want to be the absolute best at one thing or just pretty good at a few things? And that's what kind of took me a little bit aback and made me change my approach in some ways.
Well, I mean, I was about to say that, like, I'll use myself, for example. I don't train anything that isn't conducive to arm wrestling. I don't squat. I don't deadlift. I don't do anything that, if I look at my phone right now and like my programming that Giannis gives me, if it's on there, I do it. If it's not on there, I don't do it. It's that simple. Like, everything for me is committed to arm wrestling. It's not committed to general strength and fitness.
Yeah,
because it does
retired from bench press.
I mean,
as of 2 weeks ago when I hurt myself again.
Did you tear your
tip? Come on, man.
No, it's just I get this idea in my head that I still need to be a 500-pound bencher, and I start to add weight, and then I get to a point where I hit failure, and it goes ka-chunk, ka-chunk, and my shoulder pops out again, and No,
Why are we doing that? I'm not trying to tell you what
anymore. It took nearly 50 years to learn it, but
Well, you could still bench. You just don't need to bench.
no, I'm
500
done.
pounds.
Straight bar bench is out. It's done.
I
Why
quit
not?
doing it because it used to jack up my shoulders. Like,
Do you do have you ever tried bamboo bench, Ryan? Or use a bamboo bar?
I don't know what that is, man.
So I'll tell you a way to help everything. So like even for people in the chat. So bamboo bar is amazing because it moves. It's unstable. So it works the stabilizers in the chest, the shoulders, everywhere. Another way to do it if you don't have a bamboo bar, take your 45-pound bar, hang bands on it, and add like 45 pounds or 50 pounds to each side. I guarantee it's the most uncomfortable bench you ever did in your life because it's working stuff that a traditional bench doesn't. And it's actually I find it better for me.
Just stop doing traditional bench and use
That's not a traditional bench.
cambered bar with offset handles.
what you got, Tim?
Oh, I hate bench. I hate bench. I think it causes more problems for arm wrestlers than good. It's not a strain. It puts a strain on places where we don't need any more strain.
You say that,
I don't like it. I would rather just do free weights, and you can get the same outcome. But
you say that, and look what Giannis has programmed this week.
Yeah, well, Giannis is also a special person, but it's also like I would tell Giannis to his face, I think it's a horrible idea. You can get outcome and actually a better outcome by using free weights than you can a bench press. But that's just my years.
Any suggestions on what to have in an arm wrestling gym? I don't need a lot.
The first wrestling gym.
I changed things up with me. Like I got rid of my bench press because it got to a point where the more I went up in weight, once I got to the 300s, the more it started hurting one of my shoulders, the right one. And I was afraid one of these days I would get up there and something would happen and I'm by myself. You know, so I was like, you know what? I need to just get rid of it. So I sold the bench, which had the pulley to it. So I sold that, sold a bunch of my Olympic weights. And I'm kind of regretting that now because I still want to use the pulley aspect of it, which I don't have anymore. But at the end of the day, like Tim said, I got a bunch of free weights. And I do a bunch of other stuff too. I got bands. I do other stuff that's hand and wrist, you know, to work that now. So I don't do all the squats. You know, sorry, Bob Anderson. I don't do all that kind of stuff. So, again, what I'm doing now, arm wrestling specific or working that particular, you know, part of the sport, you know, like we all got to work our, you know, wrist at some point, our hands, forearms, that kind of stuff, shoulders, you know, aside from our table time, you know.
There also gets to a time in that we've been doing this to where you can take less steps back from gym workouts and more
side pressure machine
on just specific arm wrestling training to actually have your body be fit and not have to do all these workouts like you would do normally in a gym that you grew up doing, right? Like, you know, I was just talking to Brent Rackers, for example. He's done. He's doing 0 gym workouts and only doing specific arm stuff workouts for arm wrestling now. And the weights are different now and not like these massive weights, you know, 2 days of heavies. And you're going to save yourself from a lot more injuries by doing that. Because there's a difference between I'll use your bench press. There's a difference of, okay, today's my max day. I'm going in for a max bench press compared to today's my max day. I'm going to go in there with max of a pulley system or free weights. You'll notice the difference on certain parts of your body.
Well, power rack, multiple pulleys, lots of bands. I mean, I find a side pressure machine irrelevant personally. I think they're trash. I do. You can get a much better effect with a stronger person to pull with and or bands because there's such a misconception in arm wrestling about how to train. There is. time under tension is the most important thing you can have for tendons. You don't need giant. Let's use Mindy. Mindy's the perfect example of this. You look at Mindy and he kind of looks like a math teacher. He's super, inconspicuous when it comes to strength. Dude is ridiculous. And he primarily does band work and table work. Well, how does he train so much table time without getting where he can't do anything else? It's because he does. Here's the problem. Most people at practices, their ego is this damn big, it won't fit through a door, and they're like, I have to pin you at practice. Why? What good does it do you? Does it give you your endocrine system, like, and you're just like, oh my God, I won. Who gives a shit? Like, I'll guarantee you right now, I could get on the table with any of these three guys, Jody, Ryan, and Tim, and we could have the best practice for an hour and a half and never pin each other one time. And both of our arms will feel trashed.
I'm going to pin you once.
You talking left hand or right hand?
But you get what I'm saying, though. Like, we can have people don't know how to practice. Like, if you,
that's
me,
That's the biggest problem in North America. People don't know how to practice.
It is. They don't. They want to pin. They want to pin. They want to pin. Anthony Lowe is a training partner of mine, and Anthony's my favorite person to train with. Anthony is stronger than me. He can pin me whenever he wants, but we can literally go through a 2-hour practice, move each other this much. I'm talking 2 inches off center, and have the best practice in the world.
I'm with Ryan, and we don't pin each other. I'll even let them pin me when I'm working angles. The newer guys, I only pin one time, and it's the last pull of the practice, just so my inner elbow can get that motion of going all the way down. And
that's it. Exactly. And but the thing is too, like, to piggyback off that, if Tim and I were training together and he goes, okay, I want to pin, guess what I'm going to do? I'm not going to allow myself to work a giant negative as his training partner. I'm going to stay in my angle and fight him on the way down. So I'm not working the negative that then stretches my tendons, which then takes me longer to recover and keeps me out of the gym. Because I'll tell you right now, we have practices Sunday nights at 9 p.m. till 11 p.m., 11:30. Monday morning, I'm back in the gym and my arms feel fine and I'm doing recovery. And then I'm back to training max effort Tuesday and Wednesday because I'm smart about how I train and I'm smart about how I practice. And 99% of people aren't.
I always like roll into it, A good friend, Aaron Yersey, was in town this weekend. He came to my house. We got to pulling and stuff like that. It was more of me being defensive, him kind of getting to his lane. I'm trying to, work that defensive, and then same thing toward the end of practice. I get there and, we're 5 seconds here, 5 seconds there, 5 seconds there. And the same thing, so we can kind of get the all around, work out different angles and stuff. So that way, the whole purpose of that is if you ever get taken here, there's no deer in the headlights. You can still work from that, not always ready to go. It's, we're going, I'm holding, or, he's going, I'm holding, whatever the case may be. So that's, one of those things. But yeah, I mean, it's mainly the new people. You said it, Tamara said it. It's always, the newer guys that want to just peacock their way through practices and things like that. So.
Well, I mean, like I said, I practiced with Philip Friday. Philip didn't pin me one time. Not because I said, hey, don't pin me. He understands how to practice.
Yep.
And how somebody, he can get work even with a weaker guy. Right? Like, we can work with each other.
Who's Philip?
What do you think, SB? Yes?
Larson.
Oh, he was in town?
You gotta know how to practice. Like, the worst. I like it when new guys show up, but I don't like it when the wrong new guys show up and they just want to, we practice at the tavern. So, yeah, it's a little watering hole, but it's kind of like an all ages thing too. And the guys we train with are all of the same mind. We're not there to kill each other. We're there to make each other better.
Right.
We do pin, but I also tell guys that I don't hit until I am absolutely exhausted. But I also tell guys, like, I try to give them the best advice I can. When you have experienced 3 or 4 eccentric contractions by being pinned, maybe it's time to call it a day. like sitting on a table for 4 hours when you're just getting beat over and over again is not productive.
No,
it's doing more harm than good.
Yeah.
Like it really is. At that point, it's just you trying to slip a win in on somebody, right? And like even for me, like I practice with really good people, but I honestly like the new guys. I love pulling the new guys that come because I can put them in places where I'm getting work and I know they're safe. And I'm showing them like, look, this is the smart thing to do. Do this, do this. All right, I'm gonna take you here and I'm getting work. So I don't know. There's
I
so
remember,
many
I think I must have pulled for 3 hours when I was out in Texas with Anthony and Robbie and at Danny's place there.
Yeah.
But we did not, we weren't killing each other.
No, don't get me wrong. There
Yeah.
are times when at practice where like working your hit is great, but you can work your hit with ready goes in a smart, responsible way, and it's not trying to, you know, do things like working your timing, working this, working that. Like I work that stuff with people all the time, and my arm still feels fine because I'm literally just being a dummy and letting them zip.
yeah.
Right.
I think
As
a lot
long
of,
as the other. Oh, go ahead, Tim.
well, just going off of like all these trainings we're talking about too, right? And a lot of people, when I say don't train right too, it has to do with what you do the next day after training or that night of training. What are you doing now to rehab your body to be able to train the right way, right? Like, do you ice your arms? Do you take ibuprofen? Do you, like for me, when I'm done training, I have my little gripper in my hand. And for like after an hour when I'm done training, I'll have a band when I'm sitting at my chair, and I'll just take a little band and just do this a little bit.
Mhm.
I'll take my hand and just do this just to keep some constant flows, or I'll sit there and just do some stretches as I'm sitting there at dinner or whatever. Like the little things that people don't do when you're done training too can cause you to have bad training.
Yes. Do
Well,
people not understand the blood flow portion of it? Like,
well, nutrition. Like here's an example for the chat. I do all of this on my off days, and what this is it's fast movements.
That's
It's fast
impossible to read.
restore. I know. Sorry. I do fast restoring workouts 3 to 4 times per week that are like, static hold. Everything's rubber band. Why? Because it's healing my tendons. Tendons have terrible blood flow. You have to force blood to your tendons. So if you and the thing is, like, to piggyback off you, Tim, if you're icing or taking ibuprofen after training, you're doing everything wrong, and you're gonna mitigate everything you just did because ice destroys 90% of your gains after a training session. Now, after a tournament or something, I completely understand it. You're just trying to get the inflammation out. Taking anti-inflammatory does not do anything for you after you train. The best way to ice your arms or do rehab in any sense, based upon medical studies, is 6 to 8 hours post workout is when you can start doing rehab and ice and stuff like that. Then you're not negating your gains or the inflammation that's forcing blood to the areas.
That became very clear when they did the studies on hypertrophy and ice baths, cold plunges. How if you did that right after training, it would actually like halt your gains. But I do agree with activity. So we train, like we do practices in the evening. So the very next day, I have a very specific workout I do that will get blood flow into those places that need it. Because I'm generally beat up. But I also do not see people coming to arm wrestling practice with any protein source whatsoever. Whether it's at the place we're at, or they're ordering it, or they're bringing some supplements. And I don't think people realize how important that is.
The most
I'll be the first. I'll be the first to admit I don't do a lot of the supplements anymore, just personal preference. But water for me is good. I drink a lot of water now, which is good. I know when I get done at a good practice, I do a lot of stretching, and some people say that's, agree. Some people don't agree, which is fine. But I know for me, I do a lot of stretching. Like whatever I worked out, I'm like hanging from my pull-up bar. I'm sitting up here, doing this to get all because we use your lats. I'm doing that to stretch that out. I'm going behind here. I'm doing all kinds of stretches from all the muscles I worked, from that practice. And to me, along with band work, that's helped me. I mean, yeah, you're going to be sore because you did a lot of pulling, so that's just what it is. But for me, I do a lot of stretching, little band work. That's what helped me. I'm not saying it's going to help everybody else, but
I do think stretching is one of the overlooked things as well, because think about it. If your wrist can't do this, well, if your wrist can only move back that far, what's going to happen when somebody does make it go back that far?
They won't, because they're tight.
Oh, yes, they will.
It just stays.
No, it doesn't. And typically what happens when that wrist does go fully back, things go kapow.
But that is the rationale that people will use. If they're so tight that they don't have the wrist flexion to go backwards, then it just won't go backwards.
It's going to rip.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's going to rip. If your arm doesn't straighten all the way because of X, Y, Z, what's going to happen? Something in there is going to go to snap.
I would show you that Crazy George has
never been injured
in that way. So
right. Okay, so here's the thing.
He takes a call right when we're going to just shit all over it.
It must be the president of Latvia calling him.
It's the secretary to the foreign minister of Latvia calling Nathan on the phone to see if
wait, hold on.
His care package with his new training routine.
Are you giving out Giannis's secrets on what he does?
You're not show a screenshot
right now.
Oh, shit.
We're gonna have to go ahead.
So while we're on that, when you say, "Hey, don't do if you can't do this," so there are some people out there. We'll use maybe Michael Todd for this. Rising exercises. What I like to do is get like those dumbbell handles that you can load the weight on. I'll load one side of it and I will sit there and do that. That helps me to kind of get all that going on here. Where if you listen to Michael Todd, he doesn't do that because he never wants his wrist to be in that position whatsoever. I do that because there may be times, I may get fucked over in the setup in a strap, and all of a sudden the ref does that, and I try so hard to keep that pressure up so it doesn't end up that way. But then, once we tighten up, I'll go like that because I have to train that muscle.
Joe, do you remember
the problem, Jody?
They had like a Mackin practice, right?
Yeah.
We used to do the same thing, but we would hold it here and not let it go there. So we would hold those up with like a towel with a weight on the bottom and sit there and just bounce, and then don't let your hand go down. Rather than doing that helps out a lot.
A towel with a pulley is better, because if you are holding a dumbbell and there's weight on this end and you're doing this, you are essentially unloaded through most of that movement until it gets down to here. Unless you're holding it in a lower position and lifting it up like this.
Can you guys hear me? I was going to say, one of my favorite ways to do it is just to take a band, like an elastic band, and load a kettlebell on the end of it. And that's when I do mine, because that force is trying to constantly do this. Constantly trying to drop you down.
This was a trophy at one point, by the way.
Is that it's a letter opener?
Yeah.
Was that a shank?
Did you
like a letter opener was for the quest for the sword? The individual class winners got all of these.
Did you get the?
How'd you get through security with
for the overall?
Wow, they got you security.
Nathan, did you get in trouble with the president of Latvia for giving Giannis' secrets away? They call you?
No, that was actually my neighbor asking me how the roads were, because we got like an inch of ice here. So.
Texas is about to go off the hook.
Is your neighbor Latvian?
No.
Then why are you taking his phone call?
Her, by the way.
I have a friend who's stuck in Dallas right now. They got canceled all last night, and he can't leave till like 4:00 today.
Yeah, we got like a solid inch of ice and sleet and stuff. So.
Oh, here you go. Here, I got one for you. I'll show you the airplane at the airport when we were getting ready to leave.
Well, I mean, Philip just left too.
We're getting on that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They need to de-ice that bird.
Yeah. I think it took us a little long to leave.
I think I know why.
That's horrible. That's horrible, man.
Never.
Do we want to even Should we talk about a certain topic, or should we save it for after dark?
Talk about a certain topic. Yeah, I don't know what you're going to say, but I'm interested.
Before we go to that topic, can I just say one thing? I think last week people were like, "Oh, what's Jocelyn going to do?" People, I don't speak for her. Fucking ask her.
Damn, man.
People are asking me like, what's Jocelyn got next? Ask her. Like, I give her my opinion on certain things. What's fucking ask her. Next? Well, I can tell you what she's doing right now. Right now, she's on a boat diving the Great Barrier Reef. So if anybody wants to know,
I am extremely envious every time I see her Instagram because she travels everywhere.
Yeah, she's in Australia right now. She's in Cairns, in the northern part of Australia, diving on a 2-day liveaboard dive in the Great Barrier Reef, doing 11 dives in 2 days.
So what's she doing next as far as competition goes?
I'll fucking know. Ask her. Send her a DM.
No, I'm asking you. You gotta.
I'm not. Hey, first off, I am not her mouthpiece. She speaks for herself.
Don't get me started on that shit.
Secondly, I will never pretend to be her mouthpiece because she makes her own fucking decision. I'm not her manager.
No,
I'm not fucking manager, not fucking mouthpiece. I'm training partner, and all I do is build programming. So you guys want to know what she's gonna do? Fucking ask her.
You took a white paper on the Latvian program.
Wow.
Don't even. That is very accusatory, sir.
I got 2 topics on the After Dark special, and then, boy, oh boy, I think I might have to open a window because I might feel
You're getting lightheaded.
Well, this is my second cup of coffee, by the way.
You got a lot of steam, Jody? Got a lot of steam coming out?
I've been drinking
steam might come off my scalp, I'm told,
All I've been drinking water, so.
Because one topic has to do with the ladies, and the other topic has to do with
other shit.
Organizations.
Can we talk about the whole situation with the 75 national championships across the United States?
We do have a lot of them.
Damn it! Yeah, it's that.
I'm gonna hold the national. Let's all hold one.
I'm having the USA Nationals here in Portage La Prairie, Manitoba, Canada.
I really find it hard, and I don't know, because should we talk about this now? Because I know we're about to hit the 58-minute mark, and do you got somewhere to go, Tim?
Oh, it depends on what the topic is.
Shit.
Where did Nathan go?
What's that?
He's probably grabbing a bar of soap, if I had to guess.
I got my bar of soap in the bathroom. I can go grab that right quick. But
Nathan just got a call for a match offer for Jocelyn that he's screening.
Yeah, we don't need. Yeah, you're right. Yes, we got too many goddamn nationals. Like, what the fuck are we doing? But of the 3, 2 of them are the path to get you to a world championships. And it's just what the fuck. But yeah.
Yeah, some of those nationals, like this, it's the end of the road. Like if you win that nationals, you're just the national champ. There's no beyond. Well, I mean,
I kind of,
you know what we need, Tim?
I'll say
another world championship.
I'll say it. I got caught up in one of these little group chats on Facebook over the weekend when I probably shouldn't have. But listen, I've been to every major promotion there probably ever has been. And when somebody says, like, I've never been to an event where promoters do things the way I do it. We put entertainment in our name because we like to be entertaining. We do stuff, not just arm wrestling. We as promoters, like, I have to have a big enough team to help me so I can actually go enjoy with the people who spend their money to come to my events. We go out, we plan things to go to dinners together, to go hiking together, have pool parties, and do things that it's not just arm wrestling where you can actually enjoy your whole weekend. So I'm kind of curious. I might go to one of these promotions that says it's the funnest tournament I will guarantee it. It's the funnest tournament you'll ever be to. because I have yet to be a tournament to where a promoter will set up a pool party, set up an after party and actually be there, or go to these dinners or go hiking and or whatever the case may be, have fun and make it a fun 3-4 days. So I'm really curious to see how this tournament could be the funnest in the world, and I might go because I'm yet to see a promoter do that.
But what are they basing that on, though?
Have you guys been doing an event where a promoter goes out of their way to set up like an itinerary for say you're there for 4 days? He'll help you find things for 4 days. He'll do things with you. Anything have you guys heard like that? Where?
Not for 4 days, but definitely like some cool stuff leading up to it, like a thing after, a party the next day kind of thing. I've experienced.
Oh, Liv, I've been to your fucking event. You had that. It was Arizona State. What year was that? What is that? Fucking 4 years ago now. And fucking, you had the tournament at one venue, right? Check this out, y'all. The tournament was at one venue. Okay, tournament was done. All right, get the fuck out, box down. Everybody load the shit up. We're going to another venue down the street. Everybody had to go back to the hotel, change, all that kind of stuff. We're setting up for the super matches. We're setting up for, we had like the VIP section. The athletes were actually helping out. We're fucking, we'll call it the pit, the table, laid everything out. We had the food laid out, the drink. We had an open bar, all that kind of stuff. So, yes.
Open food, red carpet, picture station. Right. You got dressed up with the ladies.
Yes. To answer your question, yes, I've been there before. It was yours.
Yeah. I've been to a few. One tournament, tournament-wise, one. But I've had other stuff too, like super match cards that I've been a part of, that I've been able to go to. And there's been a few times where it's
super matches, plenty of super matches. I'm talking about a tournament, like you were going to go to a tournament on a weekend, and if there is,
there are few
who that promoter is, because I want to go to one and I want to experience it.
The only one I've been to that where it's like, hey, we're going to do X, Y, Z is your event in Arizona that I've attended twice. But other than that, it's non-existent. Other than events that I've been a part of with, like the Shaw Classic to me was one of the best ones because Brian Carey were super accommodating to me. Arlington was a good one for East versus West. Istanbul was even a good time too for EBW.
I'm talking straight like a tournament from.
I said tournament wise was
like a U.S. promoter. Because
I went to in Arizona,
support them and check it out.
Like I said, I went to Arizona State twice and refed it twice, and like I said, that's the only time I've ever had like, hey, we're going to do X, Y, and Z as a tournament.
When that promoter is saying that, like what Tim was saying, what are they actually saying though? Like, it's because is it the city that speaks for itself, or is that particular promoter going to sit there and go, okay, come hang out because I'm going to do this for you, or just come hang out because look where we're at?
I think most of it's look where we're at, personally.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like I said, it's not a hate thing or nothing. I truly would like to go experience one outside of what I do to see how it is. I just want to experience it. So if you know one, let me know. I'll come out.
Like I said, I enjoy doing multiple things. I don't like going to a tournament and then being like, oh, we're done with the tournament. Now you can do X, Y, or Z. I kind of like schedule-based stuff, or options. We'll say options that a promoter provides.
I like going to the cigar bar.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
You go to cigar bar the night before, then you go to the tournament, have fun. Then you sit there with a bunch of athletes in the fucking parking lot of a hotel in the pouring rain, smoking some more cigars. There you go.
Man, y'all were hotboxing the shit out of a car, weren't you?
Yeah, we didn't sit in the car. We stood outside in the no smoking section.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, if you were in a car, my God, how are your guys' lungs? Because that must have been a hell of a hotbox.
It's good. I don't know. I would just want to experience some of these other things. Like I said,
I've been to a lot of events through a lot of different promoters, and it's like I said, not try to make Tim's head any bigger than it already is. But yeah, going to Arizona is the only time I've ever had stuff.
Well, it's just like I just heard a couple different promoters, not just one, talk about how it's such a
nice.
They do this on the whole weekend and this and that and this and that. 90% of the ones that I go to, you kind of just get with your friends, you go have dinner on Friday night somewhere, and then you arm wrestle Saturday, and then everybody just kind of does their own thing, and it's you're just there for a tournament and not like a experience.
Yeah.
So if there is one, please let me know. DM me. I'd love to come out and check it out.
I tell you what, with me and Dan the Nightmare, he has a Airbnb set. So when we go to IFA Nationals, man, I'm going there. I got my room. Man, we're going to act a fool. We're going to have live footage. We're just going to kick back, talk shop, do all kind of stuff. I'm excited for that. But with that being said, let's table this for now because I got some stuff to get off my chest in the After Dark special. So everybody, thank you very much for joining us on this magnificent Monday. And do we got anything coming up this weekend?
I mean, guys, February is right around the corner. There's an event happening. I mean, we'll wait for February, but February is right around the corner, and there's definitely some events happening. So
tune in next Monday for updates on February events from each one of us. We'll each have probably one or two events we're going to talk about.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be flipping a knife around on the internet and we get in trouble for that kind of shit.
Oh, I got one specifically because I'm gonna have a prediction show this week. So there you go. Huh? I'm gonna have a prediction show.
With who? About what?
Brian Parliament.
Oh.
We're gonna do the Montana Armbender, that card. The first ever pay-per-view is this guy right here. So Valentine's Day, we'll talk about that. You know,
Saunders wins easily
over Wardzinski. You think so?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a prediction show. I'm gonna give y'all
Tim's over here shaking his head. Fuck you, Tim.
The Latvian training program is being on the line. It's being tested, and if Saunders doesn't win, that's it.
That's a different program. Saunders does his own thing.
All right, guys, stay tuned, everybody. I met you three, but everybody, thanks for chiming in and stuff. We will see you guys. Yeah, Battle of the Tri-State February 7th. Yes, we will see you guys next Monday.